Are you ready for the Low Blows Network?
So no one told me you had never seen this show. So now our job is to get you in the know. When we say his name, you seem to get the fear. But we're gonna get you up to speed and into the clear. But I'll watch Friends with you. We can teach you the lore. I'll watch Friends with you. And we can watch it some more. I'll watch Friends with you. And it won't be so new.
Welcome back to the One with the Podcast. We're on to Series 3 of the Inbetweeners. I'm Amy.
I'm Nathan.
And I'm Jan.
Oh, I always expect him to say more. I'm always disappointed when he doesn't.
Yeah.
Got anything else to add?
No, not at the moment.
Oh, okay then.
Alright, well that's fucked us up. Okay, well, for those of you who don't know what we do here, we look at some of TV's greatest sitcoms and we look back at them with 2019 eyes. John's eyes being firmly stuck somewhere between, what, like 87 and 2001?
I wouldn't say that. I'd be more current, hip with it. You know, YOLOs, all that kind of shit.
And the fact that you said hip and YOLO proves you're not.
I'm pushing 30 and even I know YOLO is not a thing anymore.
I started saying that like ironically, and then I ended up putting it into like my regular
vocabulary.
Speech. Yeah, like I say things like lit, YOLO, and various other very uncool things.
I find myself using lit more often, and I really don't like it. I need to stop it.
Ah, you're Gucci. Anyway,
I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
It's like if you were to say it's grand or it's good, but you just say it's Gucci.
Okay, so it's not bad. Oh my god, I'm showing my age now. I can't keep up with the youth.
Right, well, like I said, we watch some of TV's greatest series. We look at them with 2019 eyes, and we are currently doing the Inbetweeners, and we are on the back half of Series 3, which means we're nearing the end.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, Amy has not been a fan so far, so she's like, I can't tell if she's actually crying or not now.
It's tears of happiness.
So we're just going to crack on, and we're going to do a recap of what happens in Season 3, Episode 4.
Trip to Warwick?
Trip to Warwick.
Where does work?
In the UK?
In England.
Yeah, but like whereabouts? Is it in the arsehole now, or is it like well known?
Well, it
I
has,
never fucking heard
it
of
has
the
its own
kid.
university. I'm
Yeah.
assuming it would be quite...
So it's a university town, like, so that's...
Yeah, but like lots of places in England have universities.
So it's not like the way it is in America now?
No.
Okay, hold on. Warwick.
But, so, let's do it to it. So, voiceover Will informs us that he hasn't seen much of Simon as of late, because Simon has been wearing the face and cheek off of Tara. He has no idea how to kiss. Sorry, Amy's just zoned back into the conversation.
Sorry, it's West Midlands, so it's kind of back arse of nowhere. I was just saying that to John, and then all I heard was, Simon doesn't know how to kiss, and then you just looking at me. I'm like, what have I missed here?
Okay, well, let's rewind. Simon is wearing the face and cheek off of Tara because he doesn't know how to kiss.
There we go.
His parents come in to check up on them, and he completely flips the lid as his mother reminds him they have an open door rule in the house when girls are over, and then they joke about what he's actually up to because he says he's studying.
That's like that rule in any house.
That rule was in my house, but it wasn't just if girls were over, it was all the time.
Really? The whole time? Like,
All the time. I could never have my bedroom door closed until I was like...
what did you do as a child, like?
Nothing!
To be fair, he went to a prison
Yeah,
school.
he went to
Like, he
prison
did
school,
something.
like,
I'd have to always have my bedroom door like slightly open, and then now I'm alright with it. Like, I can have my door closed because I'll play PlayStation at night. My ma's like, I don't want to hear that, close the door. So it's handy.
Yeah, see, whereas in our house, my dad made an unfortunate thing of opening a closed door, did not appreciate what he saw, and then after that, that's when everyone in our house remembered to knock on a closed door from now on. We never had a closed door policy in the house, and my dad didn't look me in the eye for at least like 4 weeks maybe. after that incident. Couldn't look at his godson in the eyes either.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Incest, the game for all the family.
Godson.
Oh, well, whatever. Potato, potato.
No, there's really no relationship there at all between that one at all. There's nothing there, John.
Our lead word looking for is, anyway.
Anyway.
When they've gone, Simon launches back onto Tara's face, but she wants to have a chat about them making the next move soon. Sex.
Why are you whispering? Your mom's
Is
not
that a
here.
dirty word, is it?
Sex.
Sex.
but
Moist sex.
Why moist? Ugh.
It's because they love each other. Simon doesn't seem to agree with that, but because there's sex involved, he does. He suggests that they do it down at the end of his garden in the bushes or in his car, but she's organised to go down to her sister's university for the weekend. Tara then asks him to talk dirty, so she can imagine what he will do to her. He says really vanilla things like he's going to kiss her boobs, and then eventually she gets going on that like real easy. He's like, I'm going to kiss your boobs. She's like, yes, Simon. And then he goes, I'm going to fuck your fucking fanny, you fucking twat! And then she's put off.
As you would be.
I mean, there's a fine line here. It's like the build-up of what dirty talk is, and Simon's eyes goes from really
Yeah, it's
quickly.
a steep fucking
I mean,
incline.
Jesus Christ.
At school, Jay tells the other lads the story of a chap who was sexually assaulted after getting his head stuck in a bottle bank overnight. Will then questions Jay on the entire story.
This is one I really want to be true.
Why do you want that to be true?
It's because it's just so out there, so outlandish. I'm like, chances are that probably would happen.
What, someone getting arse raped 18 times?
Well, not 18, but like getting assaulted.
By 18 different people, like 18 opportunist homosexual
But, like,
rapists.
I know, but like just getting their head stuck drunkenly in a bottle bank and then just getting like assaulted.
18 times.
But why would he have his head in a bottle bank anyway?
Sorry, ask any drunk how they get themselves stuck in a chair in McDonald's. Ask them how they get their heads stuck.
I
in
feel like these are
anything.
personal stories.
Have you never seen the videos of the lads that have to get the fire brigade in the baby chairs in McDonald's?
Oh yeah, when you said in a chair in McDonald's, yeah, we talked about normal chairs.
No.
As in, like,
Oh, Jesus
I
Christ.
can't move, lift me up.
I know someone who had that happen before. I'm
How
not
drunk
saying
were they?
they were very fucking drunk, and I can't stay on this.
Come on. Come on.
Oh,
You could
alright.
be fucked. You think I'm mentioning that one on this online?
Right, so
Traumatization may not have happened.
anyway, Will chalks up the story as bullshit and wishes that Simon was around. Jay makes fun of Simon, and speak of the devil, he arrives to brag about his trip with Tara at the weekend. The lads are all in shock. Jay says that he's in trouble unless he has a plan of action, and he spouts more bullshit. Will tells them again the story of sex with Charlotte, and Simon refuses to take advice from Will. Jay then tells him that a Johnny is a hard-on killer, and if he must wear one, get her to put it on with her mouth. Or her arsehole.
Although he does advocate not wearing a Johnny.
Yeah, because he says, what was it? It's safe sex because you can't get a hard-on.
And he says he knows a lad who broke his knob, like when he tried doing it with a Johnny.
So then Simon gets freaked out he won't be able to get it up, so Jay and Neil offer to go on the trip and help, as if they're going to be fluffers.
You make it sound so pleasant, like, you know, it's like, oh yeah, it's like a set, you've come to the set, and like, you know, the fluffer just blow you off there.
As the bell rings, Jay begins to inaccurately describe the parts of the vagina. Voiceover Will tells us that Jay kept up with his sex tips for the rest of the day, including eating ass and fucking a zookeeper. As the lads leave school...
Zookeeper? Oh my god.
Is that like a is that, yeah, I was going to say, is that a fantasy of yours to be fucked as a zookeeper?
Well, no,
Like,
it
where'd
was
you
plenty of
zookeeper?
women's fantasy for it to happen, and there was an accident that happened, like, you know, one time where one woman was like, she was looking at the red pandas who were cubs who were just born.
pandas.
Yeah,
Don't ruin red
and
pandas
no,
for
and
me.
she was like, "Oh yeah, give me one." So I was like, "Thank you, Jesus, thank you, God." So I start unbuttoning my belt, and then she started looking at me saying, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, have I misread the situation?" Like, she's like, "The red pandas, they're so cute. Can I have one?" And I was like, "Whoops." So anyway, put my belt back up, and then I look behind me and my manager's just giving me this disapproving stare.
I'm surprised it was just a disapproving stare and not a formal write-up warning.
I'm surprised you weren't sacked. You were about to have sex open in the public in the zoo.
I thought it was consensual, like, you know.
Even if it's consensual, you don't fuck
don't do
in
that
your
in
workplace
public.
in public where there's kids.
You know, potato, potato.
No. Do you know what? No.
I don't think you know what those words mean.
Yeah,
Well, I do, like, they're two similar sounding words.
Anyway,
similar sounding situations, though. Like,
Look, I told you it was an incident, like, you know. It's not like something I done regularly, like.
I don't
It's not
know.
like I'm trolling around looking for women.
I don't know, John. An awful lot of your stories kind of do have you trolling for women.
Yeah, I just have this raw sexual energy, just not wrapped up in any charm.
Or a condom, by the sounds of things.
Unless I said about that the best.
Anyway.
anyway.
I'm on one of DNA database now. I had to take it for work, like, so it's going to be like, you know, all these children coming out of woodwork. I love you, my bastard children.
Anyway, Simon thinks that it'll look weird having the other lads come down as well, but they convince him that it's going to be fine and they're going to try and score some uni girls and not pay petrol money. Will then tries to invite himself because he doesn't want to be left out. He gets lonely. I kind of felt bad for him. The five of them are then squeezed into the back of the car.
In the group chat, make plans without you. You're just like looking at scene. Okay, fine. Fuck you guys.
They head down in the car as Tara jokes that she's delighted that Simon has such a bad car because he can't get girls in it. Tara then complains that she's sitting in the back, but Neil calls shotgun, and them's the rules. She also asks him to slow down because she gets car sick. Then she complains that something's digging into her. A 4-litre bottle of orangeade, because Neil says it's polite to bring a bottle when you're going to a party and you can use orangeade for cocktails.
I really like Neil.
He's
sorry.
so innocent.
He's just so simple. I'm like, you're my favourite.
Tara finds this sweet until Neil farts and smells out the car. Down at the house...
What are you looking at me for? That's Ali, not me.
Well, I seem to recall there was a couple of monster burps as well.
Yeah, I'm the
Ooh.
burper, I'm not the farter.
The smell of it was just like pure, gross, processed monster.
If anyone is curious, it's actually the juice one that he's talking about, the ripple one.
Smell of it, like, it's just vile, like, you never get it out of your nostrils for a week, like.
So this is also the same trip that we nearly killed.
Yes,
someone
yes.
on. The car started like filling up with carbon monoxide, but we
Yeah.
had the two windows.
And I was like, oh, I can smell,
ammonia.
yeah, I can smell ammonia, pull over. No, you're imagining things.
See, me and Ali had the windows open, so
Yeah.
we couldn't smell anything, and it was only after when we put the windows up and John
We
was
realised
like,
the car
John was like, no lad, seriously, it's really hot back here and it really started to smell. And then we're like, actually I can't get a smell. And then he's like, alright, Amy gets a smell, now we'll pull over.
You know that episode of The Simpsons where Rod and Todd are like speaking in tongues?
Yeah.
I'd imagine that's what John was like in the back.
That was, do you know what? That was nearly where it was. He was getting really, like, you could tell he was getting a little bit lightheaded. And, like, he wasn't really with it anymore. As soon as we got outside and he got some fresh air, he was fine.
Moving on. At the house, Tara tells Simon either the lads get the train back or she does. They then meet Tara's sister, Sophie, who's unimpressed by the number of people showing up.
She's very serious, isn't she? She's like a fucking killjoy, like.
Well, in fairness...
A load of randomers are turning up to where she lives.
She
just
invited them, like.
She invited... No, she didn't. She invited her sister.
She invited Tara and then technically Simon.
Yeah. I mean, technicality.
And she was giving up her bed so that they could have sex in it, so she could sleep
In a
with...
safe and dry environment.
Where'd the dry come from?
I think she was moaning, like, you know, in the bushes it'd be wet and stuff like that.
Can confirm, yeah.
Yeah, so she already thinks that Will is a prick because he starts slagging off her university. Her sister gives them her room, but only because it's somewhere comfortable for Tara and dry. Simon thinks when she says somewhere comfortable, he means the sex being comfortable and assures her it'll only be in her vagina. Followed by an awkward silence.
We also had the awkward silence.
Yeah. The girls then head in. Neil asks about Ika, Sophie's Dutch flatmate. Jay bullshits about having been with the Dutch girl while on a West Ham under-13s football tour. When pressed about what he did with the girl, he says that he fingered her and she shit down his arm.
And the lads surprisingly go quiet, and it's just like, that's even too much for them. Like.
Yeah, in absolute shock and disgust, the lads all head inside. So that evening, Joe, Sophie's flatmate, has friends come over with beers, and they're all asking about Tara. Ika comes into Neil's room and Jay's room, looking for tissues for her cold, and is using Brit lingo. She just keeps saying bloody over and over. I thought it was sweet. Neil then tries to be smooth while Jay just stares at her. When she leaves, Jay informs Neil, there's 3 things you need to know about Europeans. They're filthy, hairy, and they don't mind if you wipe it on the curtains.
Again, both of you looking at me on this.
Well, we kind of look at you because we're waiting to see like what you're going to say to this. Because you're usually quite disgusted by what they say.
It's gotten to a point now I think I've just desensitized to it now at this point. Plus, I had a really long chat with Oren yesterday, and now I'm just like, I'm very desensitized to anything and everything right now.
That's fair.
Made that children's party flew by after that one.
So, yeah, were you saying you can confirm the 3 rules about Europeans, or you can't?
Oh yeah, they're pure filth. Like that stag in Germany, like literally after that, it's like literally there's vile human beings. Like, oh, it's literally like if you imagine an industrialized city, and it has like the biggest collection of smut ever, and it's like there's literally no hope. Like we had this place called Hooker Alley, and it's literally women and children can't walk down. It's just women in windows. Like, I mean, friends from Westmead, he's a strong like Catholic and stuff, and he was like, he was like, yeah, he was like a 1:30 in the morning. He was walking up and down, wrestling with his conscience. I was like, oh my god, it's like just a horrible city and a horrible place, and like the women there, very poor hygiene. Like,
is this where you broke your toe?
Yes.
No, that was Poland, wasn't it?
And Germany. I've 2 strippers have broken my fucking toes. Like,
I have a question. All right, is this the trip to Germany? Is this one where you then proceed to send us all a picture of your arse with a whopper of a bruise on it, or is that Poland?
Yeah, that was yeah.
How did you get the bruise?
A stripper beat the shit out of me
With?
a leather paddle.
There we go.
Was it consensual?
No, it was literally like...
No, it was, because you've told me this story before. No. They asked, who wants to get spanked, and you put your hand up.
No. What happened was...
No.
Yeah, there's 4 of us there, and she says, who wants to be spanked? And no one said anything, and just looked at each other. Next thing I knew, my bags were down around my ankle, and I was getting fucking hockeyed over, and I was like, this is neither erotic nor sexy, please stop. And whoosh, again, and that's how I got the big bruise on my fucking arse.
Are you just in your boxers, or are they shorts?
They're short shorts.
Oh god.
Alright, moving on. Downstairs, Joe and his mates are playing drinking games. Will tries to chat to them, but
What's the game?
I actually don't know.
Fuzzy Duck, best game ever.
Can you explain what Fuzzy Duck is?
Okay. So someone says Fuzzy Duck, and then if you say Ducky Fuzz, it goes the other way. So I say Fuzzy Duck, and then if I say Ducky Fuzz, it goes back the other way. So it's left, right. So when you're drinking, and if you get it wrong, you have to drink. So eventually, God, you're so pissed, you fucking end up saying, does he fuck, or something like that. But it's really good for getting drunk quick.
Alright. So they play Fuzzy Duck. Will tries to chat to them, but they rope him into playing as well by shouting weird naval code at each other. Jay and Neil get in on it too. In the kitchen, Simon is dry humping Tara and kissing her. Sophie comes in and reminds Tara that it's when she's ready, not him, and not to do it in the kitchen, and make sure that, although it probably won't be enjoyable, make sure it's not regrettable. Tara gets embarrassed, and then thinks Sophie is jealous. Simon tries to slip away for advice from the other lads, but is rattled when he thinks that Tara knows. Either way, she's not pleased. The lads come into the kitchen and Tara storms off. Simon asks for advice on maintaining an erection because he thinks he's going to come too quickly. Jay suggests he has a tactical wank so he lasts longer afterwards. Simon takes his advice, has a wank while sniffing Sophie's knickers. Downstairs, the uni lads call Will boring and make Neil drink orangeade filled with cigarette butts.
Oh yeah, that's gross, like...
Will sarcastically asks if they'll get Jay to punch himself in the face next. They do. Jay obliges. They then keep calling him boring until he offers to eat a bonsai tree to prove that he isn't boring. So that takes us up to about the halfway point of the podcast, at which point I'm going to become a shill. Ladies and gentlemen, did you know that we at the One With The Podcast are part of the Low Blows Network?
No way.
And on the Low Blows Network you can find more podcasts than just ours. You can find the flagship Low Blows podcast. You can find Ask Low Blows,
Tell
the
me
Spandex
more.
Pantomime,
Ooh.
Talk Nerdy to Me with Jerry Soul,
I love that
Paddy's
podcast.
New Yacht. You have a whole host of podcasts.
moist. Absolute moistness.
Get the fuck.
Stop.
Why did you have to ruin my fucking ad, John?
Why?
The Star Trek episode was very good, and in the middle of it, Jerry goes into a big 10-minute rant about moist.
God damn it, Jerry!
Jerry, can you stop fucking up my podcast?
Jerry, I will give you
love you,
all.
Jerry.
I will give
Jerry,
you all the
Jerry,
boob hugs.
Jerry,
Just stop saying that
Jerry,
word.
Jerry.
Stop using the M word. All the boob hugs.
Anyway,
Oh yeah. So
if you'd
finish
like,
your ad.
if you'd like to help keep the lights on at Low Blows HQ, and if you feel generous and you want to be sound and throw a bit of money our way, you can find us on patreon.com/hashtag Low Blows. That's the word hashtag, not the symbol. Moving on.
I love your new catchphrase.
I have moving on. Anyway, upstairs after his wank, Simon is struggling.
Catchphrase to have.
Simon is struggling to get it back up, and he's putting it down to the fact that he's just cold. He takes off his top and asks if Tara will do the same, but she won't. She's cold too. She wants him to put the condom on, but he's still not hard, so he asks will she put it on. She agrees, and then he suggests she uses her mouth. Or her bum. She's having a real bad time of it.
Well, I blame her sister. Like, she's such a tight ass. Like, the room is cold. Like, you know, the heating's off. It does affect performance. Like,
Do you know what also affects performance? Having a wank 5 minutes before.
well, I don't know. It depends on how horny you are.
Even if you're horny, it takes a little bit for it to get back up.
Well, that's always, you know, a top tip there. If you're going to a strip club, have a wank beforehand. You get your money's worth.
Didn't like strip.
Isn't there like a no touching
Yeah,
policy in
isn't
a
it
strip
like
club?
Depends on how classy a strip club it is. They have their rules on the wall. Some are like hands behind the back. Some are like, you know, whatever happens between consenting adults happens.
So you go to brothels then? As
Yeah,
opposed to
no,
strip
there's a,
clubs?
there's a very fine distinction.
Is there?
Yeah.
Is there really?
Yeah. Brothels are normally dank and, like, you know, smelly.
And strip clubs are...
Have the glitz, the glam, the lights. Have you not seen Showgirls with, like, you know...
Why does he go back to Showgirls? Oh my god!
That's
It wasn't a good movie.
But also-
It wasn't a good movie. It was a
The
shit
soundtrack,
movie.
amazing, like...
Oh my god!
Okay,
John,
but
get over it.
aside from the soundtrack and the fact that you only watch it to see Jesse Spano's boobs, it's a movie.
It has a good plot as well, you know.
No, it doesn't.
does.
No, it doesn't.
There's a coming-of-age story, there's backstabbing,
Oh, that's coming, alright.
there's, like, backstabbing, there's all, like, you know, subplots going on. It's great, like.
You worry me greatly.
Anyway, I've completely lost where I am after that fucking conversation.
Choking on the Johnny.
Yeah, so she suggests putting it on with her mouth. Downstairs, Will is still eating a bonsai tree when Sophie walks
It's
in.
really going hell for leather on it, like, I know. Like, I wonder how many takes that took, like, the film, like, because he does get a few, you know.
I felt terrible for him, but I bet he got paid well. He tries to claim that it's satire, but she tells the lads to get to bed and the other lads to get lost. Neil gets emotional because of how much fun he's had. Upstairs, Tara tries to get the condom on with her mouth, but she doubts it's going to work because he's still soft. After 3 tries, on the 3rd attempt, she inhales and she starts choking on the condom. Simon starts to freak out and tells her it'd be easier if she got her boobs out. The lads then all share a room, as Jay won't shut up about wanting to fuck Ica. To get him to shut up, Will tells him, go ask for sex with her. Jay leaves to do just that. Will then tries to get to sleep, but Neil is wetting the bed and cannot stop peeing. And it's green. Will tells him to get out of Ica's room. The girls then shout at him. Sophie tells him to get out of the house. Meanwhile, in the other room, Simon tries to have sex with Tara, but he can't get it in because he's soft. He flips the lid and starts screaming at Tara, then at his penis. In the hallway, Sophie freaks out at the 3 lads. Tara runs out to safety away from Simon, saying that he's gone weird, but Simon walks out naked on a semi. Sophie threatens to call the police. Will tries to reason with her until Jay asks for a 3-way. The lads then all leave. They spend the night in the car so they could drive home the next morning, with Simon nude, Jay in his boxers, Will and Neil covered in piss. Simon then freaks out at all their bad advice. He then gets a text from Tara saying never to contact her again. And that's our episode.
Oh, yeah, and in the voiceover, Will said he's happy to get his friend Simon back. Ah.
Will's a bit of a dick, like, to be fair. Like, come on. It does seem to be
But,
a sense
like,
of Will's not getting any, no one's allowed to get any.
Yeah, but like Simon didn't even care about her. Like, really. Like, she cared
Oh God,
a lot
no!
more
Like,
about him.
like he only cared about just getting it in and out.
Like, and he couldn't even do that.
Nah, can't even do that right.
Um,
Neither could Simon, but still,
So-
or Will, but still.
so what did everybody think?
Yeah, it was good. Just some good comedy set pieces, like, physical comedy is very good as well in it. I think the bonsai bit as well, it was really, like, you could really see the grossness of him, like, eating it and stuff. It's like, oh. So yeah, overall a good episode, and Sophie's sister are a bit of a bitch. Or Tara's sister, Sophie, is a bit of a bitch.
I don't think she's a bit of a bitch.
No, neither do
She's
I'd
the biggest whinge and moaner ever, like, Oh, have you imagine living with her, like, it'd be literally like, is that a glass? Condensation?
I don't think she'd be like that. I think it's just the fact that, 3 people she didn't invite.
In fairness as well, like, it is a university house, like, so it's not going to be top standard, and you can expect a certain amount of partying and like, mishaps to happen.
Yeah, but you don't expect 3 randomers to show up with your sister and her boyfriend, and then you don't expect your sister's boyfriend to scream at his penis and slap it because it won't work, and you don't expect the weird house guests that they brought down to pee all over each other and come into your room and try and sexually assault you. So, like, I'm gonna hazard a guess and say no, she's in the right here.
Well, it was her roommates as well who plied them with the drink,
I don't think they made them drink.
Come on, there was a bit of peer pressure there.
Why are you smiling as you say that? It's as if like you've done it as well.
Oh, yeah. It was like, it happened all the time in UCD, like. It's just college fun and hijinks, like, that's the kind of shit you do, like.
Something tells me if John was in an American college, he'd be one of those frat boys in front of the judges, been like, it's just a bit of hazing, like, it's grand. No, it's not, John, it's not grand.
Anyway. Oh yeah, on the drive home as well, I just thought there was a really funny bit where, like, Jay is, like, hungover, vomited into a bag, and even through that, like, he's like, oh, got a text from Tara, and he tries doing the beep 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 when he's hungover.
That was quite funny. Amy,
I laughed at the condom bit, I'm not gonna lie.
when she started choking on the condom,
Yeah.
was that the only thing you laughed at, or?
It's one of those things because I actually know from experience and from friends' experiences that actually does happen really easily. You can choke on those things, they're horrible.
I mean, I can't say I've ever tried. I did want to... Do you remember the condom challenge a couple of years ago?
No.
It was like you'd unfurl a condom and then you'd like sniff it up your nose and then
Oh,
you'd try
yeah,
and pull
yeah,
it out your
yeah,
throat.
yeah.
Yeah. I was tempted to do that because that looked like fun.
Oh,
But
did you ever put one on your head and, like...
We've done that
I've done that one.
And then
Yeah.
you blow it and then make your fucking ears go...
Yeah.
No, I put a hat on the top of it so that the hat would go up like, do you know, the Laurel and Hardy bit.
Oh, did you ever fill one up with water as well?
Oh yeah, use them as water
They
balloons.
go
Oh no!
huge, like.
So in my prison,
He's finally admitting that he went to prison.
You used a lot of condoms in prison, boy.
there was a shop locally that would sell. It was like a cheap shop that like just sold everything.
The
And
prison, did they sell like loose cigarettes as well?
No, and
Bullshit, they did.
the shop, people would go in there on the lunch break and like you buy like chocolate bars and stuff, but they were always really close to their sell by, so they were cheap as fuck. And then they sold condoms, but they were like, you buy like a box of them with 3 for 50 cents, and people would buy them and they'd like fill them up with water and coke and stuff, and they'd just start throwing them at people.
This is actually a nice little public service announcement for women. If a bloke tells you that a condom doesn't fit, fill that bitch with water and you'll see no one is fucking too small or too big for a goddamn condom.
Personally, I wasn't a big fan of this episode.
What?
Like,
Oh? Oh my god!
No, I enjoy gross out humour, but like there was the peeing thing, and then there was the eating the bonsai tree, and then there was watching Simon slap his penis, and I was just like, I'm not here for this.
Really?
Yeah, I was all out on that one.
So you're not into like abusing the little man?
No, because as I was watching, I was just going, that's gonna hurt. Like that's going to do the opposite of what you want.
Friction burns, you know?
Oh, I'm just had to realise what John's shirt says as well.
Yeah, John's currently wearing a t-shirt that says orgasm donor. On that wonderful note, It's
Who wants to be donated to?
No.
It's
No
Orgasm
one.
Awareness Week.
Happy Orgasm Awareness Week, everybody. Let's move on. It's question
Who
time.
wants to fake it?
John,
Don't
shut
be
the
filming
fuck
it.
up.
God, stop. Please stop.
It's question time. So I'm
Who's
going.
the mastermind team tune?
I'm going to ask 3 questions. Both of you pick.
I that might be copyrighted, John. I wouldn't.
Both of you buzz in if you know the answer. A buzz is whatever noise you want to make with your mouth. What are your noises? Okay, so Amy's doing a fucking ASMR video now.
I was doing the Royal Rumble one. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, John, we got that. So, question 1. What was the university that they were at?
Nah. Warwick University.
Okay, that wasn't your buzz, but I'll give it to you.
Because I didn't have enough time to get the crisp in my mouth.
So that's 1 to Amy, 0 to John. Question 2. Where on Will's university list was the university?
Last.
There we go. And your final question. What cereal did Neil's pee smell like?
Frosties?
Sugar Puffs.
It was Sugar Puffs. Now known as Honey Puffs. Or Honey Monster Puffs.
Oh.
Because you can't say sugar to kids, apparently.
The S word.
Yes,
Dude, it is like crack to them, to be fair.
Now, while we're here, I want to have a little chat with you.
Is this about the intervention thing for John?
No, that's...
Is that next
we're,
week?
we're far beyond that.
Oh, crap.
There's some people who are beyond helping. So, as I said earlier, we're coming to the end of the Inbetweeners, which is quite sad. But don't. John's about to play the mastermind theme.
No, it's probably copyrighted, so don't do it.
We're coming to the end of the Inbetweeners, which is a sad time for the rest of us anyway. Not Amy. Which means we're going to have to do a new show. So, in 3 weeks' time, we'll be starting a new series. I know what the series is, but you two don't.
I don't like that we're giving you this much power over picking the series.
Yeah. It's because I do fucking everything.
Ooh.
So,
God, Mr. fucking happy to wear the
Fucking
hats.
Will Mackenzie, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
Jesus,
all
alright,
just
Will.
with the dance.
Calm down, right?
Little bit of power.
I'm going to let you guys guess what it is.
Like, yeah.
And then afterwards, we're going to get our fans to guess, if we have any, what they think the show is. So the criteria for the show is the age of the show. So it has to be somewhere between 10, 15 years old or more. It has to be readily available on streaming platforms such as Netflix, 4OD, probably Dailymotion has a lot of stuff.
If you can find it on YouTube.
Yeah. And the last one is the show has to have a degree of, oof, you can't really say that, so that we can look back at it and see how much things have changed.
We also seem to be going on a cringe factor as well.
Yeah, a little bit. So, for that, I'm going to give you all your first clue. And clue number 1. It is a show that started in the 90s. So you can both have one guess now each.
Is this before or after your birth?
The year of my birth.
I can't remember what year that was.
My mind's gone blank.
Okay,
Blank.
well,
Blank.
What year were you born?
Blankly blank.
1997.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm a fetus.
Oh, I thought you were a proper millennial, like past the 2000s.
No, I'm technically Gen Y.
I'll need to do a bit of research on this.
Well,
I'm
John's...
trying to work it out in my head. I'm like working out TV shows and when they started, when they ended. It's like, well,
I'm thinking-
carry the one, carry
See,
the
I'm-
two.
At first, when he said 90s, I was thinking Seinfeld or something like that, but that's before 97.
Oh, 90s. Can't be Friends because that's been done. Around Friends.
Well, you see, the thing is, the series we'll be doing won't necessarily, you know, the series is from 97, but it might not have started in 97. This show is going to have a rich history to it.
97.
I'm going to leave it with you to sit on it for a couple of weeks.
Okay.
And if anybody has any guesses as to what it is, shoot them in. We are on Twitter at the one with the pod. That's the number 1, not the word. We're also over on Instagram. Amy, what's the Instagram?
The one with the Insta.
The number 1.
No.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
I just posted to it. Is it?
It's the number 1. It's the one with the Insta.
Oh shit! It is. Damn it! I'll look. Eventually, I will get it. All right. Eventually, I will get it.
Okay.
At least
Well.
this time I didn't give my own one out.
Well, that takes us up to the end of our time here today with the Inbetweeners Season 3, Episode 4, The Trip to Warwick. I've been Nathan.
I've been John.
I've been Amy.
And until next time, you can use your mouth or your bum.